The Honorable Prime Minister made the announcement as he addressed a memorial service for the late Honorable Edward Regis on Wednesday night.
I know one of the things which preoccupied Ed's attention was agriculture and the need for us to grow more in the Grandbay constituency and to ensure that we can not only feed ourselves but to provide to the nation. And so I'm saying to the Pal Rep and the farmers of Grandbay that a special facility of $1 million will be made available to Grandbay to provide to farmers to rear more pigs and more chicken and have more eggs in the community and to ensure that we can supply the abattoir and ensure that Dominicans can eat more of what we produce in Dominica so that we can reduce on the food import bill and keep more money in our pockets in Dominica, because every time we buy something that's imported, we're sending money from Dominica out, and it means therefore we're sending jobs from Dominica out.
The Prime Minister explained to his audience the direct relation between buying locally produced goods and the creation of jobs.
And so if we want to keep jobs, if we want to create jobs, we all have the power to create jobs. Not only the Prime Minister, every one of us in Dominica, by our purchasing habits, can create jobs in Dominica. And so I'm very happy to see all of us here celebrating the life of a national hero, a true patriot, very committed, straightforward but committed. And we'll be forever grateful for having a friend and a comrade like Ed Regis.
Describing the late Honorable Edward Regis as one of Dominica's greatest sons, the Prime Minister said he was thankful to God to have known Edward Regis.
Ed borne with me my burdens as the leader of this country. And I could always rely on Ed for his steadfast support and solidarity. I can say without any shred of fear of contradiction that Ed was one of my allies in the Labour Party. And I thank God for people like him. I really want us to recognize the tremendous contribution of Ed Regis, and we should never forget it. I really want to thank his mom and his family for giving to this nation Ed. And Ed started at a very young age. And we speak about Ed as if Ed was 85 years old. Ed was a very young one when he passed away, and so it speaks to the depth of his contribution. All I will say to us, all of us here and those who are listening, is that we must not say thanks when people are gone. We must remind people of the good that they do while you're on earth, so that it can be exemplified and we all can become even better stewards and better people and be better disciples of Christ on earth, because we are all instruments of Christ.
The Prime Minister joined Father Branca John in calling for Dominicans to take the issue of NCDs more seriously.
I want also to say to us that we should take due note of the very profound sermon by Father John. Father John always gives some very profound sermons. I'm always happy to be in Grandbay, that I do take back a message or two. And the focus on NCDs is a very important one. I know times have changed and most of us have access to vehicles and we don't walk as we used to do before. And we no longer have the herbal teas in the backyard because we're spraying everything in Grandma's Zone. And we no longer have the spinach growing in the backyard as we did back in the days, and we go at the back of the kitchen and get some and cook and use more of local stuff. It is easier for us now to go to the shops and buy a bottle of juice, and then we complain the juice is too expensive.
A special token of appreciation was presented to the mother of the late Honorable Edward Regis.
I just want to say thank you very much to our Prime Minister and members of Cabinet and every other person out of Grandbay who has made an effort to be here tonight with us, and of course, Nujia Gwabi. Thank you very much for having seen Ed as you saw him. Ed was all that probably a family could have wanted. I'm not boasting of my son. I am just saying whom he was. I'm not boasting of him. He was a nice baby. Feed him and put him to sleep. I had no problem with Ed. He was a nice child. Sorry, I was a bad parent, especially teachers who want their children to learn. So he didn't have a good time there. Otherwise, he was a nice child. You know, teenagers give you a problem. I went through that, but we went through it nicely. And being an adult, Ed was everything to me, especially when my health went down. He was everything, just everything, and went off so swiftly. Often I ask him why. I wait to say, bye, Ed, in the mornings. I wait to say, Ed, you are there? In the evenings. It hasn't gone. Sometimes I smile, sometimes I laugh like him. He loved to laugh. He had a happy heart, and that heart went on and it was so very young. Of course, as Father said. So therefore, as I say thank you to you, Mr. Prime Minister, members of Cabinet, and everybody here, I also want to say to we parents, teachers, to take care of our little ones, because they are going to be the nation of tomorrow.